Hey out there, here's another tutorial for you. I'm going to tell you up front, if you watch my response to Ryan video, that's the trick I'm going to do here. I just want to do a proper tutorial instead of the high points one I did before. So if you watch that video, you don't need to watch this one. As always, before watching my tutorials, there's a link right there to my disclaimer. You should watch that once before watching my tutorials. It's not very long. So for this one, you have a card selected. We'll say that one right there. And let you all look at that. And I say, alright, go ahead and just put that back in the deck here for me. And the spectator will do that. And I'll hand them the deck and say, alright, go ahead and just cut the deck for me a few times. 3 or 4 times, whatever you feel like. I take the deck back and I go, alright. Now I could try to just look through the deck here and just pull out a card that I think is your card, like this one, and say, is that your card? And of course they'll say no. So right, well let's see if I can just eliminate a few cards and we'll use that to find your card. So say, is that your card? And they'll say no. Say, okay, so we'll put that one down, move the next one to the top. Now is that your card? And they'll say no. So okay, so we'll put that one down, move the next one to the top. Is that your card? No. And we just keep going like that until I get 4 cards on the table. So now none of these cards, we don't need the rest of those, were your card, right? Right, so, oops. Let's just double check real quick. So that's not your card. Alright. Alright, we'll move the next one to the top. And that one's not your card. Alright. And that's not your card. Alright, and that's not your card. Well, make a fist for me. And the spectator makes a fist. And just slide the cards between their first 2 fingers, and I say, alright, now hold on to those, and I just hit the cards like that so they fall out. And the only card left in their hand is their selected card. Now the way this works is you have a card selected, and when I say put that back in the deck for me, and I make this gesture, what you do is you glimpse this card here. This is called the key card technique. A lot of you may know this, a lot of lay people know this even, but the way it's being used in this trick, it's probably not going to be noticed that you're employing it. So when they put their card back in, it's the Jack of Clubs in this case, you don't know what it is, but you know that it's the card below the King of Clubs is their card. You have them cut the deck a few times. They can do whatever they like. Don't let them shuffle the deck like this though, because that will probably separate the 2 cards and then you're screwed. And they can cut the deck a few times, and then when you go back through the deck, what you're looking for is the key card. When you see the key card, which was the King of Clubs, you leave 2 cards below that, and you just cut the deck right there, and you do that little line I did about the top, wherever the top card is now. So you've got, since you leave the key card 3rd from the bottom, you know that their selected card is now 2nd from the bottom. So then you do this part, and this is called the glide. You hold the cards like this, not like that, but like this, kind of deep so your fingers can touch. And you show them that card, and then you pull out the 2nd card instead. And the way that works is you just reach in, you just push that bottom card down so you can pull the 2nd one out instead. And you do that in a single motion. As your wrist bends, you push the card. And don't do that and then push, because they'll see your fingers move. So you pull the 2nd card out, put it on the table, and then you say, we'll move the next one to the top, and you pull the actual bottom card, put it on the top. And then for the next, so you've got their card on the table here. And for the next 3, you really are just pulling the bottom card out and moving the 2nd one. But you bend your wrist up and down in the same motion, so that it looks like you did the same thing every time. That way they don't think anything suspicious happened on the first one. Now when you gather these back up, do it however you like, but you need to put their card 2nd from the bottom. So that when you do the double check, you're doing the same deal. You show that card, glide, set their card on the table, move the actual bottom one to the top, and then do what you actually say you're doing for the rest of them. And you're going to flash whatever the bottom card starts at, that's going to be flashed twice. So don't let them stare at these cards for a real long time as you're showing them. because you don't want them to remember the names of any of them. You just want them to remember, is that my card, yes or no? Because they're going to see that card twice. You don't want them to realize they saw it twice. But I have several tricks that I do where I flash the same card more than once. I've never been caught because of that. The only time you might get caught is if it's something like the Ace of Spades. It's real distinctive. They might remember, but that's not going to happen very often. And even if they do catch that they saw that same card twice, they may not realize what's going on. And the last part, where they hold the cards and you hit them, that's all you do is just hit the cards out. And whatever card is on the bottom of what they're holding is the one that will stay in their hand. Now sometimes you do this and like all the cards fall out or something because they weren't holding them tight enough. You know, there's not much you can do about that because it's just the spectator, how they're holding it. But most of the time, there'll only be one card left and it will be their card. So try that one out. It's very deceptive, very confusing to people who don't know how it works. Have some fun with that.